Live.
Okay, and so we start with everybody saying their name, correct?
Yes.
I'm Lauren.
I'm
I'm
Emily.
Oh.
Sorry.
We did at the same time.
And this week we're doing reflection on persuasion approaches. And I believe we had 2 videos to watch and then that article to read as well. And the first video was against same-sex marriage. And so the first question that we have down is, what principles of effective speaking did you see in his speech? So how do you guys feel about his speech?
He was very dominant.
He was something I didn't like him. Something about his voice was really creepy to me. Like the way he was like preaching, and I don't know, he just sounded really off, kind of. The way he was presenting everything. It was awkward to listen to, I guess.
Yeah.
So I didn't really find anything very effective other than he had a lot of scriptures and things as references.
It definitely made me think of Marsha Barlow, her like forum speech thing, where she was saying you shouldn't use like the Lord as your reference. You should have other sound-based ones because you kind of have to use secular wording sometimes when you're talking with people outside of the church. It definitely made me think of that because if I was, like, even though I am against same-sex marriage, I was against his speech, if that makes sense.
Well, he was just like condemning everyone to death who doesn't agree with him. And like, I know my brother who's left the church and says he's atheist now. He would totally go against this guy just because he was using God to condemn everyone.
To me, I felt like he was a holier than thou type person. Because like I said, he was dominant. He wanted to make sure you are wrong, this is right because this is in the Bible. This is what God said. And like you said, Lauren, Marsha Barlow, she said, don't use that or they're going to turn you away very quickly.
Let's see. The next question is, what was the basis and or the premise for his stance? And we kind of already stated that he like basically was basing it all off of the Bible and like his personal beliefs. He wasn't really putting much more into that. Just straight up, you're going to hell if you are against this very strong thing.
When he was saying how Sodom and Gomorrah burned, and I feel like he was trying to threaten with his Bible scriptures.
I found this next question actually interesting because I read all the questions beforehand, and so it said advocate number 1 against same-sex marriage, and then it said if you were on the fence when it comes to same-sex marriage, how would you feel after listening to this speech? And my first thought was like, oh well, I'm always against that. But then after watching that video wouldn't make me for or like against, it would make me just want to be against him.
I read everything before also, and I thought that too. Like, I already agree with what he's saying, but not how he's presenting it.
No, with the other guy, he related his experience, made me almost feel like I wanted to feel sorry for him, but at the same time, I'm not for it.
Yeah, he made it personal and made it relatable for everybody.
Are you talking about the second guy or the first guy?
The second guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also thought that he made it something that everyone could relate to because of how he related it to his personal experience with his family.
And I thought it was very clever and neat how he went back to the Constitution and he like went back to all these bases and he compared it to like historical things. He started with his own personal story to make it relatable to everybody, and then he drew back history to kind of support his cause, which I thought was very clever. It's like it's a very good debate technique.
Yeah, it was.
Thought that was neat. For the second guy, if you were on the fence when it came to same-sex marriage, how would you feel after listening to his speech?
Well, like I said, I mean, it made me feel like I want to feel sorry for him, because he wasn't bad-mouthing them. He wasn't really, I don't know, gnashing teeth with them. He just, like you said, told the story, but of his personal life. If I was sitting on the fence, I still probably wouldn't think I would go for him.
Definitely. What do you guys think was less effective about his speech than the other guy's speech?
The second guy?
Yeah, the second guy.
I didn't really have anything, because I feel like his was a good example and the first guy's was a bad example.
Oh, I think the second guy didn't have anything to back up. I mean, he did talk about the Constitution and everything like that, but he didn't have anything to back himself up with.
Yeah, other than his personal experience.
Right.
It was mostly coming from that and emotions.
Yeah. Where did he get his resource from? That's where I was getting at.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, how did you guys feel about the article that we read?
I thought he started it out with a lot of sarcasm about I don't know. The first paragraph, there was a lot of sarcasm about equal rights for everyone. Just kidding, not certain people, but then he brought up a lot of points. How he said that he acknowledges that the traditional marriage is reality and it's necessary for population replacement, and it's not created by hatred or segregation or anything like that. So I thought he did a good job acknowledging the opposing side. But for a while it was kind of hard to tell, wait, which side are you on?
I did have that same thought process for a little bit in there, because he was making really good points on both ends. I really liked his point when he talked about a civilization, how, let's see, let me find it. Okay, it says societies across the globe until recently have recognized the power of the female or the male-female bond and appreciated the fact that the survival and propagation of civilization depends entirely on this bond. And so he was kind of talking about how the male-female bond is how society is based, and it can't function without that.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really good to bring it in. Yeah.
For me, I think he just, I don't know, maybe it'd be just me. I hope I'm making sense. I don't think he wasn't sure which direction he wanted to go with, which way he wanted to go with it.
Yeah, it sounded like he agreed with both points.
Right.
But since he grew up with same-sex parents, that he chose that side because he knew that he turned out okay.
So if you were on the fence when it came to same-sex marriage, how would you feel after reading the article?
I would probably still be confused.
Yeah. She added a different question at the end of this section, actually, saying, what questions do you still have? From his article that you, didn't have after. Or, I don't know, I just thought that was interesting that she didn't add that after the 2 other sections, the videos.
That's true.
But she was asking with this one, like, what questions do you still have? And I think part of it, Jeff, like you were saying, you couldn't tell, or like he sounded like he couldn't make up his mind. I guess that could be like one question, just we didn't know exactly where he was at first. Okay, I'm going to take something out of the oven really quick.
Okay.
No, I think he was basically just sitting on the fence, and he was just for and opposed on both sides. So it was kind of hard to figure out which way he was going with it. So that's where I was kind of confused about.
Yeah, I was definitely confused.
Yeah. So.
Hey, sorry guys. I just
Hi,
saw
Grace.
this on my phone. Hi. I'm just here with my son in the car. We're in Newport, Rhode Island. We just got finished with dinner.
Oh, cute.
Thanks. Sorry, we're just waiting for my husband's mom in the. I'm just waiting for my husband's mom in the grocery store. So sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
Well, we could ask you, what did you think of the videos and articles? We were just kind of going through them, but what were your thoughts on all of them?
I just only had a chance to watch the videos so far.
Okay.
But I thought, like, it was, you could definitely tell as far as charisma goes on who you know, would have won the argument in the courtroom. And it's almost like you have to make it seem so entertaining, but at the same time, that guy that did win the argument, like who I would have thought would win the argument, that one guy on same-sex marriage, he had a lot of like personal experience to work from, whereas that guy was a little like, it was almost like he was. I mean, he was like passionate about it, but at the same time, he was kind of stepped away from it. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, but like he just wasn't. I guess if you were to compare it, he wasn't as like he wasn't as I don't know. Like it didn't sink into his heart as much as the first one. You know. I don't know. Did you guys see a different view?
The first one definitely did seem very passionate about what he was talking about. Very into it. And the other guy seemed more, I don't know.
He knew a lot more, like...
But he was like more conducted in his speech.
Yeah, like he was more articulate, and he was able to just, like, everything was smooth, you know? Whereas the first one...
natural.
Yeah, whereas the first one, he was kind of, like, choppy in his speech, and the delivery just, you know, I mean, even if he's passionate, it just wasn't there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I don't know, maybe you guys thought something else.
I think we were mostly talking about how, like, the first one, he was more of condemning everyone if they don't agree and follow the same beliefs that he was stating. And we kind of made reference to Marsha Barlow's talk, how she said to kind of not use religion in the Bible as your source, whereas the other guy was making his argument seem more relatable to the audience through his personal story.
Yeah.
Yep, I can see that now.
And then what we were talking about with the article is the man in the article. Emily pointed out at the beginning that he was kind of sarcastic in his speech, and then throughout the article you didn't really know where exactly he was. Like, you didn't know what his opinion was of gay marriage because he was kind of like speaking on both sides a lot.
He had such good points for the opposing side, so that made it hard to tell.
Yeah.
You know, some people are doing that with articles nowadays. Have you noticed that? To get a big, like, rise in somebody, they'll write down, like, this really controversial title, and then when you read it, then they start to, like, you know, be like, oh, both sides are good, like, this way. I don't know. I've just been coming across a lot of and you're like, wait a second, I opened this up, and nobody, like, really defends their point anymore. It's more like either, like, trying to defend, well, I mean, like, by based on the title, they, like, try to defend the opposing point, or they don't know how to make up their mind. Okay.
I kind of noticed, tell me if I'm wrong, Arju, was there any resources to back him up in that article?
He talked about his, like, he didn't use actual resources, but he referenced, like, the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did mention that, yeah.
I think that was the only actual, like, reference.
Yeah, I don't remember. His arguments were very logical, but I don't remember any specific references or citations in it.
Yeah, I don't think there were any.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That's a good point. I
think it was just. Yeah, I think it was just based on his own theory, maybe, what he thought for himself. So, besides the Constitution, I don't think he had anything else to back himself up to. I think that's why it made him so confused of which way he wanted to go with it. He wasn't sure himself.
Yeah.
So.
There's also not a lot of information out there that he could reference to support his view. So I think he kind of had to make it up as he was going.
Mhm. Yeah. Which that also reminds me of the Marsha Barlow speech that we listened to, because she was saying that you want to fill in your speeches and your articles with those references, because you want to show that you're backed up by all these different sources and these other people that agree with you.
Yeah.
I just thought about that a lot while going through these different things, like things that she said and the things that we read. I just kept thinking about those and, like, nitpicking it from those references. Were there any other parts of the article that really stood out to you guys?
He did mention about Proposition 8 a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember right.
Yeah.
Let me go back to that article.
He said it was like a hideous or heinous
something. I think he said the word hideous, I think. I think you're right, Emily.
Yeah, he was saying something about how conservatives and Christians are all just, this is the only issue that they're really fighting for. They're silent on all of these other social issues, but this is the one that everyone's fighting for. And he said that they're cowards because they care more about being popular than speaking the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said Proposition 8 is a symptom of the fundamental corruption of our entire democratic system.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. How did that make you guys feel that he was saying that about Christians, that that's the only thing that we're really fighting for. What did you guys think when you read that part?
I think he doesn't. I think he must not be involved in a lot of other issues because, like, Christians are involved in a lot of things. Like our church, we support the vaccinations in other countries, and there's a lot of things that we stand for. This is just the most popular one because all of the Christian religions are kind of joining together, so there's a stronger presence.
Yeah.
So I think he just might not be aware because he's not involved in the same issues that other Christians are involved in.
Definitely.
And I feel like I think that's a really overgeneralized statement. But kind of just grouping us like that.
Well, personally, I think you're right. Yeah, feedback. Anyway, I think. As Christians, we're so involved in so many things, just not with the gay marriage and everything like that. Or
they're not all big political things, too.
Right.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I think when we sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Awesome. I think I like what you said, Emily, about the overgeneralizations when we start to zero in and start blaming almost a complete majority, like what that guy did in the video with anybody who didn't what was his point was sorry, I'm trying to
Are you talking about the first guy?
Yes, like how he made it almost like a super, like it was against the super majority, but he was like with the overgeneralization and the condemning, I think that those were essentially the 2 points. Sorry, I had my thought and then it just flew away.
You're fine.
But I'll get it back. But that was kind of the gist of it, that the overgeneralization. I really like that you pointed that out because a lot of us make that mistake when we talk about something we are passionate about. We forget that some people might not be, and if not, I guess in a sense, not condemning. Like that guy wasn't very condemning. The second, he was more like anybody. He's kind of separate from the condemning part of it. You know what I mean? Like, and then I guess in our papers, that would really help. Sorry. I feel like I'm rambling for some reason, so.
No, you're fine.
Sorry, I was on the airplane all day yesterday with like a toddler and a 1-year-old for like 5 hours. I might not be like completely.
That's fine. So out of the 3 different things, what do you guys think was the best argument or defense or whichever?
The second video.
Yeah, I agree. The second video, because he wasn't demanding.
That article, right?
What?
The guy in the second video is the one who wrote that article we read, right?
I don't think so. The guy in the article was Matt Walsh, and then the video.
Or the article, I think it's the same guy.
Really?
Oh wait, their last names are spelled different, but it's like the same letters, just jumbled up differently.
Yeah, it says that the second video, the guy's name is, where'd it go? Zach Walls.
Zach Walls.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Matt Walsh.
Matt. Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was the same person. I was going to say he was a lot more brave behind his keyboard. He wrote the article calling out those little, like, shots.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree. I think the second video was the most, like, sound of them all, and I think it was, like, if there was somebody who was completely on the fence, I agree with you, Emily, that they'd be still confused after the article, still wouldn't know which side to choose. And then if you just had the one where they're being attacked on one side and then the other person's being relatable, and so I would agree. I think
now, if I wasn't LDS, and I was sitting on the fence and I heard both sides, and which one would persuade me to that? The second video.
Yeah, me too.
Definitely.
But of course, I'm not for that. So, but anyway, yeah, he would have persuaded me to go on his side because of his story.
Mhm. Definitely. Sorry.
It's okay, I'm just gonna go.
All right, we've got 2 minutes left here, so.
Okay, so you want me to summarize?
Yeah, what we talked about.
Okay, so we talked about the first guy, the advocate against same-sex marriage, was very dominant and condemning, and he used God as his only source. Because gay marriage is against God's plan. And since we were all LDS, we would side with him, but I don't necessarily like the way he presents his views. I feel like he's more of a scare tactic, so you feel guilty if you don't believe with him. And then the second advocate of same-sex marriage, he had really good narrative of his personal background, and he used everything flowed really well. It just seemed more a natural conversation with him. And we decided that we would side with him if we were on the fence. The only thing was he didn't have anything to back up his feelings. He didn't have resources. He just had his emotions and his personal experiences. And then the article was confusing. It was hard to tell exactly where he stood on the subject until the end. But he used history with the Constitution. He had a lot of good points acknowledging why traditional marriage is necessary for population replacement. But he mainly based off of his own theory in the Constitution. But he was confusing and kind of sarcastic. And we all agree that the second video was the most persuasive if we were on the fence.
Pretty much covers it.
That was it.
Yes.
I like with the cheese.
All right, let me stop the broadcast.
This is so good.